Yog-Sothoth. Yog-Sothoth is not a creature you stumble upon in the dark or a monster hiding in the ocean's depths. Yog-Sothoth is reality itself, or more precisely, everything outside of it. Described as a shifting cluster of glowing orbs, it exists beyond time and space, yet touches all of it simultaneously. Past, present, future. All are one within Yog-Sothoth. Nothing is hidden. Every secret you've ever kept, every thought you've ever had, every mistake you're destined to make, it has already seen them. What makes Yog-Sothoth terrifying is not just its form, but what it represents. It is called the key, the gate, and the guardian, because it doesn't just open the pathways between worlds. It is the pathways. Every barrier you thought protected you from the unknown is meaningless before it. In the Dunwich Horror, its influence brought abominations into the world through human flesh, proving even our bodies are just doors it can pass through. To even glimpse Yog-Sothoth is to confront the truth that time and reality are illusions. Your life isn't unfolding step by step. It has already unfolded, beginning to end, every moment visible to this entity in a single glance. Yog-Sothoth doesn't hate us. It doesn't love us. It doesn't care. It doesn't need to. We are part of its infinite awareness, just as inevitable as the ticking of a clock. Cthulhu. Cthulhu is not just a monster of the sea. It is a symbol of everything humanity was never meant to understand. Described as a titanic being with a body like a man, wings like a dragon, and a face of writhing tentacles, it lies in death-like slumber in the sunken city of R'lyeh, somewhere beneath the Pacific Ocean. There, it dreams. And when it dreams, we suffer. Its very presence infects the minds of the living. What makes Cthulhu terrifying is not simply its size or power. It is the inevitability of its awakening. The cults that worship it whisper of the day when the stars are right, when the city will rise, and when Cthulhu will emerge to reclaim the surface. To them, this is salvation. To everyone else, it will be annihilation. Cthulhu doesn't need to move against us, to destroy us. The knowledge of its existence is enough. Our gods, our morals, our sense of control, all are shattered when faced with the truth that something so alien, so unstoppable, is only sleeping. And when it wakes, there will be no war, no battle, no resistance. Shub-Niggurath. Shub-Niggurath is not a mother in any sense that humans would find comforting. Known as the black goat of the woods with 1,000 young, she is an endless, churning mass of filth and flesh, forever birthing horrors into the universe. She does not nurture. She does not protect. She only spawns. Her children, the dark young, are towering, tree-like monstrosities of tentacles and gaping mouths, roaming the forests like living altars to their mother's obscene fertility. What makes Shub-Niggurath so terrifying is not her appetite or her violence. It is her function. She is fertility stripped of all beauty, all tenderness, all meaning. She is creation as corruption. To her cults, this endless spawning is sacred. They gather in the woods under the new moon, offering blood and life so that the black goat will continue to pour her young into the world. Shub-Niggurath does not care who suffers from her spawn. She doesn't choose. She doesn't decide. She simply multiplies, a grotesque parody of life's abundance. To glimpse her is to see an enormous cloud of rotting mouths, black tentacles, and writhing legs, all dripping with slime, all giving birth again and again without end. Dagon. Dagon is not a god in the human sense. He is something older, something that lurks beneath the waves, vast and patient. Known as Father Dagon, he rules over the deep ones, an amphibious race that worships him in secret, breeding with humankind to ensure their bloodline spreads across generations. To encounter him is to see a towering, scaly titan, part man, part fish, part nightmare, rising from the ocean's depths like a living continent of flesh. What makes Dagon terrifying is not just his size, but his inevitability. The sea belongs to him, and so too do those who worship him. In the shadow over Innsmouth, entire towns fell to his cult, trading their humanity for the promise of transformation. To his faithful, death is not the end. They are promised immortality in the deep, their bodies remade into something that will one day return to the sea and kneel before Dagon and Mother Hydra. There is no morality here, no choice. Those who resist his call eventually discover they cannot. The ocean itself is his temple, and every coastline is a doorway. His children are countless, spread across the oceans, waiting. Their eyes bulge, their gills flutter, and every one of them whispers the same truth, that the land is temporary, fragile. Hastur. Hastur is not a single form, not a single story. It is a name that spreads like a disease, whispered in forbidden texts, tied to the cursed play, the king in yellow, and etched into the yellow sign. To speak the name is to invite corruption. To read too deeply into the words of Carcosa and the Lake of Hali is to invite madness. Hastur does not reveal itself in flesh and blood. It reveals itself in despair, in broken minds, in the collapse of meaning. What makes Hastur so terrifying is that it is not simply a monster waiting in the dark. It is an infection of the mind. Those who glimpse the yellow sign, those who hear the whispers of Carcosa, begin to unravel. They see things that are not there. They act in ways they cannot explain. Unlike Cthulhu, who sleeps, or Dagon, who waits, Hastur's already here, seeping through art, through language, through ideas. It does not need to rise from the depths. It only needs to be remembered, spoken, shared. And in that act, it spreads. Hastur's not evil. It doesn't punish, it doesn't reward, it corrodes, it empties, it reduces everything to silence and madness. Tsathoggua. Tsathoggua is called the sleeper of Nikai, but sleep does not mean peace. Described as a bloated, toad-like thing with fur like a bat and eyes half-lidded in eternal sloth. Tsathoggua waits in the black caverns beneath the earth. It does not move, it does not hunt, it waits. And when sacrifices are brought, it devours them without question. What makes Tsathoggua terrifying is not rage or ambition, it is apathy. This is a god that does not care enough to stir. It is content to let others come to it, to let its formless spawn, shapeless, ravenous horrors, born of its essence, spread its influence through the world. In the myths of Hyperborea, Tsathoggwa's worshippers approached with offerings, trembling in fear, for to wake it without tribute was to seal their fate. Tsathoggua is creation without order, hunger without need, existence without purpose. Its presence is a reminder that the universe does not strive, does not ascend, does not improve. It merely sits, bloated and indifferent, consuming what comes near. Where Shub-Niggurath endlessly spawns, Tsathoggua endlessly waits. Both prove the same point. Life is not sacred. To understand Tsathoggua is to understand futility. Effort means nothing. Prayer means nothing. Struggle means nothing. Whether you worship it or curse it, Tsathoggua will continue to lie in the dark, half asleep, its mouth open, its tongue lolling, waiting.